All right, hello everyone. We are back with our next competitor here this afternoon. Coming from Orange County, California, from Portola Coffee Roasters. Put your hands together for Carter Page. Carter, your judges are coming in right now. Go ahead and say hello to them and then call time when you're ready.
Sure. Hi. Thank you. Hi. Okay, ready? And time. Oh, cue music. Hi. Technically speaking, we have already brewed the perfect cup of coffee. We already know what that looks like, but we're still here, right? Still having competitions for that. No, I think the question is, how do we improve upon perfection? We live in what I like to call the post-perfection world. What do I mean by that? Well, like I just said, we have the technical ability and the technical know-how to brew really amazing coffee. But how do we transcend beyond that? My answer to that question is, we need to improve perfection through the surrounding experience. But in order to have an amazing experience, we have to start with coffee that is undoubtedly amazing in and of itself. So let's talk about that coffee, shall we? This is a naturally processed Panama Geisha, and a darn good one. It's been hand-picked, hand-sorted, hand-farmed, and hand-cultivated right off the mountainside of the Las Delicias farm in Panama. This farm gets a lot of rain, 4,000 millimeters a year to be exact. And that's a lot, even for Panama. Just to give you an example, Panama City gets about 1,700 millimeters a year. So it is this heavy rainfall, along with an altitude of 700 or 1,500 meters, that really gives this coffee preferring a light-bodied. I'm starting with 15 grams of coffee, and I'm going to be ending with 250 grams of water. This is going to form a neat 1:16 ratio. You know, my roaster, Jesse, and I were experimenting with these coffee, and we've gone through some amazing roasts, but ultimately we decided the best way to serve this coffee was 5 days off a roast. And that's a little bit soon. Normally I like to wait a little bit longer with coffees like this. However, there's just a little bit of gas still left in this. So I have to bloom this coffee for a little bit longer than I normally would with other coffees. I'm blooming for 30 seconds with 30 grams of water. Now, because this coffee is so light and has such a light body, I need to pack it with flavor at the same time. Because of that, it does involve my individual attention, which is why I'm brewing individually instead of sequentially. But I still need to pack this coffee with tons of flavor. And in order to do that, I am going to be doing some pretty quick pulses. I'm doing 50-gram pulses every 5 seconds until I reach my final brew rate. Now, if you notice the swirl I did at the beginning, that's to help some of the gases escape just a little bit more. And if you notice, I'm giving just a little bit of a swirl once all the water is in it. all this does, I'm not really giving the water any sort of movement, but all I'm really doing here is just letting the grounds mix just a little bit more, and that's gonna help the water flow a little bit evenly, create a nice flat bed, just help with extraction a little bit more. You see, yes, we can brew really amazing coffee, but it doesn't have to end there. You see, like this geisha, I think we need to start cultivating the experience a little bit more. You know, I'm gonna tell you a tradition that I have with my family, and it's a tradition that I hold very near and dear to my heart. We always try to get coffee whenever we can. Any weekend, any holiday, pretty much any time that we really can get together. But it's not the idea of getting coffee that does it for us. It's the fact that we are all getting coffee together and spending a little bit of time with each other. And this has a lasting impact on not just my day, but my entire weekend as well. Now, I am inspired by this when I brew coffee for my customers at my bar. I understand that just a little bit of time that we have with these customers will have a lasting impact on their day more than we might even realize. You know, I saw a really funny tweet the other day. It said, have you ever dropped your iced coffee and right in that moment you realize that the thread you're hanging by is actually quite thin? I mean, it's funny, but it just goes to show how much we as baristas have an impact on people's day. So I think this coffee is ready to serve at this point. Now, if you notice, I am going to serve this in a decanter for you. Just give it a little swirl and you're gonna release some aromas. And of course, when you're ready, I am gonna grab it back and I am going to serve it to you. There you go. Now, right off the bat, you are gonna notice a sweet nougat, rich German chocolate, and a subtle coconut just to round it all out. Right now, if you're comfortable, I'm gonna serve this to you. I'm just gonna add a little bit of air into it. This is gonna help release some of those aromas a little bit better. Enjoy. And as you sip, some of the flavors you're gonna notice right off the bat are a zingy, a citric, blood orange. This is gonna be related to the citrus of this geisha. And when you taste, that's gonna translate into the body and sort of the mouthfeel, as well as the flavor notes of sweet agave nectar. And it's gonna leave you with a bright and refreshing finish of China green tea. So yes, we can brew amazing coffee. We absolutely can. But it's time we start cultivating the experience. And maybe, just maybe, we could start making people's days better, one cup at a time.
All right, everyone, put your hands together for Carter Page from Portola Coffee. Carter, excellent job.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Excellent.
Serve some good coffee, and that's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. That sounded like a delicious cup of coffee, number one. Number two, loved your story just about how being a barista, you're like, you get to direct people's days, like so often. Like you're the first person that they meet before they've had their coffee. And
Yes.
it's like your job to like just cultivate that interaction, make it a good day for them.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm just here to help people have a better day. Serve them good coffee while I'm at it too. That's what I'm passionate about, you know?
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's your role at Portola?
I am the manager at the Orange location.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
and we, I just serve good coffee. Yeah. I mean, every day that I go and I try to serve coffee, I try to make this cup better than the last. But at a certain point, I go, okay, I've dialed in as best as it could get. I've refracted it perfectly as the best I could possibly get it to be. But how do I make coffee better? How do I improve the coffee that I'm serving to people? And I've noticed when I'm thinking about the coffee shops that I want to go to, assuming they all taste good, I think to myself, okay, actually, where do I want to go hang out for a few hours?
Yeah.
What baristas are nicer? What baristas make me feel at home? And that's makes a really big impact.
Yeah, that's a really great point. I mean, that's like kind of like this untouchable, like quantifiable thing that really like set coffee shops apart.
Yeah.
You know, in everyone's mind, whether they know it or not, you have
it's
a regular
subconscious.
Exactly. You have a regular coffee shop that you like to go to, and there's reasons for that. You know. Hopefully, it's because of the coffee, but there's always more to it than that.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's how some coffee shops do better than others. I wish they all could do good because it's my thing, but some coffee shops do better because they serve a better experience to customers, even if whether you're staying and sitting in there or whether you're taking it to go. Sometimes it's just you really enjoy that. You come back now, okay?
That's cool.
It's going to make me come back to somewhere.
Well, and I think that really echoes the philosophy of like Portola in general. I mean, I'm from Southern California, so I've been going to Portola for a really long time, and you know, I remember when they had the Theorem bar and like how that was so like like such an experience for you to go and like just get coffee made for you by people, have custom menus, like all that kind of stuff. So just a really great echoing that message across the Portola ideal.
Yeah, that's what I like it. Well, hey, if you ever stop by, come visit. I'll bring you some coffee.
So, how did you decide to use this coffee? I mean, obviously, Panama Geisha sounds delicious.
It is
I know Jeff at
amazing.
Portola, you know, works so hard to source amazing coffees. Is this something that they were able to help you get, or is this something that's on the menu all the time?
This is not something that's on the menu all the time. In fact, this is a micro lot that we won in an auction. And this is a coffee that was... Now, when it comes to coffee, I don't like to think that price necessarily matters, just like with anything, right? But this coffee was so expensive that we did have limited tries for it. We only got a 200-pound lot.
Okay.
Yeah, and so when I was working with my roaster, Jesse, we both thought, okay, we kept cupping it, be like, okay, how do we taste this? How do we get it better? How do we serve it? And eventually we got it to be like, okay, 5 days off a roast. This is the best. It still has a little bit of gas, but you can get that out in the bloom and it's going to taste amazing. But how do you set that apart from everyone else? And I think it's absolutely how we serve it. You know, that's why these, I looked into getting the wood trays and the cups and everything. I put so much thought into everything. So, yeah.
That's cool. Is this your first time competing?
This is my first time competing.
Nice. That's awesome. How do you feel? I mean, what makes anyone, I mean, in your mind, want to take their coffee journey, their coffee profession to the next level by competing? I mean, what was your motivation for wanting to get up on this stage here?
My motivation for wanting to get up on the stage was to try to not necessarily reach as many people as I possibly can, but in a way, yeah. I mean, I know what I like, and some people ask what I like, and so I thought, you know what? Why don't I try this competition? It's something I'm really passionate about, and you know what? I think the main thing that made me want to do this competition was that I knew, even if I didn't advance, that I would be that much better of a barista coming out of it than going in. And that's probably top reason why I did this.
Yeah, that's so great. Well, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I want to give you a chance to say thank you to anyone that, you know, helped you get here, especially with it being your first year. I mean,
of course.
There's a lot of support that goes into this.
I want to support or really thank, well, I talked about my family going on Get Coffee, and they're actually here with me today. I want to really thank them for coming out here. I want to thank Portola for sending me here. I want to thank Kate. She's my trainer and she's my coach. She's helped me with this. Yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so honored and just stoked really to be here. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, everyone from Portola Coffee, Carter Page. Carter, excellent job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We are going to be going to our next stage here with our next competitor in just a few minutes. Another reminder.